Sup, everybody? It's us. We're live. It's here. We're the Paper Dungeon. This is Table Scraps. Yeah. Welcome to this Thursday, 1:30. This is who we are. I'm joined today by the wonderful Lydia and Drew.
Hey, I'm Lydia.
This is a show where we talk about stuff that we did on Monday. We streamed Dungeons & Dragons, and that's what we do.
Nice. Well done.
It feels like I've never opened for Table Scraps before.
Right now?
Yeah,
right
like-
You
this
have
moment.
been very you seem very tired of it.
It's like I don't remember what I've done. It's all gone. I don't remember any of it.
Okay, so guys, obligatory plugs before we start the stream.
Yes, there's that.
So
Take it away, Drew.
So welcome to Table Scraps. This is the stream where we talk about the stream that we do on Mondays usually. This past Monday, we had a one-shot DM'd by myself.
Yes.
It was a lot of fun, I thought. I hope my players thought the same thing. We'll find out here in a little bit, I guess.
Also,
But
thanks for the
other
gifted
obligatory
sub,
plugs. Discord.
Yes.
Check it out.
Wait. Is it time for our obligatory plugs?
This is the obligatory plugs time.
Oh, hey guys, welcome to Table Scraps. This is the show after the show. We usually stream D&D on Mondays, and we had a one-shot this last Monday that we're going to cover, and so...
It was DM'd by Drew.
It was DM'd by Drew, yeah, and we're going to see how Aaron and I, the players, respond to it kind of deal. So now it's time for our obligatory plugs.
Our obligatory plugs, we have TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. We have some other ones, but we barely use the Twitter already. But recently we've picked back up, kind of, on TikTok. Lydia posted a new one just recently. It's pretty dang good. It was from 2 Mondays ago, I believe.
Yes.
And so check us out there. Wow, are our mods not here? Maz, what are you doing?
Mass is here.
But I'm not seeing any messages in the chat saying ooh, exclamation point,
Yo,
socials.
Maz, yes,
Falling apart. This is how I remember how to do my job. We have a Discord. If you're not in our Discord, I feel sorry for you. It's sad. And you should feel sad. But it's a really easy way to stop feeling sad because you can just join it right now. It's awesome.
Yeah.
They played Jackbox games last night, something like that.
We played Jackbox, and then Drew, were you guys playing League of Legends or Apex?
No, yes, we were playing Apex.
Yeah.
Myself, Faye, and Raiden. We played it for 8 hours.
So yeah, you can suffer in the Discord with them playing way too much Apex Legends.
You can pull all-nighters with me.
I literally, I looked at the Discord and I was like, I don't know what else I'm going to do tonight. I looked at the Discord and I saw everyone was playing games and I went, I do not have the energy for that. I just left. We also have a website, www.thepaperdungeon.com, with a merch store where you can buy our merch with our logo and stuff on it, little quotes, little images made by Lydia. Speaking of Lydia also has a store where you can buy her art on pillows, shirts, other things, not notebooks. Or you can join her commission list. She has a wait list for commissions because so many people want her art, as should you. And you can commission characters and stuff like that. It's really awesome. YouTube podcast. I don't know if I don't know if this goes on YouTube. I don't know if it ever does, but
yes.
It does.
It does.
Sick.
It does. Yes.
Shout out to all y'all. We've heard actually we've had more contact from those lonely podcast listeners lately. Had a couple of them message in our Discord and through other sources and stuff. So it's good to know that you're alive. We appreciate hearing from you. It's awesome. Our YouTube is great. Grant does that, and you can catch up. You have so much time to catch up on the main campaign. If you want to support us, I remembered. We have a couple of other ways that you can do that. We have a donate through Streamlabs. We have a Ko-Fi. We have a Patreon. But the easiest and cheapest and maybe best way for you to support us is just by telling your friends. Tell your friends. It's free. Hopefully you have them. If not, you can join our Discord and be friends.
Yeah,
and
you can
find
become
some.
our friends.
Yeah, you can. Well, I don't know about our friends, but yeah, the rest of the people's friends. Not my friend. You are not my friend.
You are not friend.
Go away. Yeah, it's awesome over there. But yeah, I think that's it. We can get to work on the actual like content. Drew, you DM'd this past Monday.
I did.
It was a
Yes.
fun one. Lydia and I, we were players. We were players. It was pretty sick. This was in your world, right?
Yes, it was. So, we haven't seen a lot of my world. Honestly, okay. You know what? While I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna open up my Google Drive before I forget.
Yeah, so that you can pull up your lore docs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say something, and it's gonna be completely wrong, and I'm gonna feel dumb. Yes, but yeah, we played in my world. This time we've been here technically once before.
But
If
it was
you
like a maybe
guys,
once.
yeah, it's last this most recent Christmas season or winter season, holiday season, whatever you want to call it. We did a one shot DM myself where we visited a little town called Tinkerstadt.
Yes.
It was fun. It was just like supposed to be like this kind of fun little place with a little bit of tease of like some strange world stuff going on. And technically, it is in my world, but also is like in Nikamura's.
It could have been. It was never fully explicitly stated.
Yes. However, this one is just fully 100% in my world, not involved with Nikamura's at all. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I do find it kind of funny. Recently, I actually changed the name of my world because originally it was actually called Weissen.
Oh, yeah, that's a good reason to change it up.
And so given the fact that we played in both the Weissen system, and there's a character in the main campaign named Weissen, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should change his name before this becomes really really awkward. So yeah, that's what I did.
I lost my notebook.
So now it's actually a world called Tessala.
Gotcha.
Great place.
Neat place.
Yeah,
good vacation spot.
Yeah, really really good beaches. Some great surfing if you're into that.
So in this adventure, we went to we had been contracted to deal with the cursed lands that were forming. I always for some reason my brain always says that it's something else. We ended up getting full on last movie Twilighted into the past, Twilighted. Into the future. Who knows? And fighting off, we fought a Nightwalker. There was a whole bunch of
you did, and
cool stuff.
You did excellent against it. Might I add?
Was concerned.
Yes, but you did very very good.
Lydia and I, we both obviously we were your two players. I played Dave. I was Dave, and Lydia played a tiefling bard.
Yeah.
Which is not at all standard. I love the meme around tiefling bards.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen it, Lydia?
No.
It's just so there was a I saw a clip about it recently where, and this is a really cool thing to do. I would love to do it. But people just love tiefling bards. And there was a stream that I saw that they made a character for a different member of the cast. So like I would make one for Lydia would make one for Drew, and Drew would make one for me. And they all made tiefling bards. Every single one of them made a tiefling bard for the other player, and it was hilarious. For life of me, I was just flipping through like YouTube shorts or something, and I saw it.
That's fantastic.
It was great. I would love to try that one of these days.
Like just making characters.
Yeah, making characters for a different player.
That'd be fun.
I think that would be super fun. We should do that.
We should do that
as like a thing sometime.
100%.
Also, hello, I'm in love with space for your welcome first time chat. Yes, we stream weekly today. We're doing pretty all right, or at least I am.
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, I played Dave.
And our lovely Miss Lydia Korn played Charm.
we were kind of polar opposites in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I did find it hysterical before stream started. I asked Aaron like, "Hey, who you playing?" It's like, "Oh, I'm playing Dave. He's just a champion fighter. He's just a dude, just doing his thing." I'm like, "Great, this is wonderful. Perfect. You know, it's gonna be fantastic." And then ask Lydia, it's like, "Hey, what are you playing?" It's like, "Oh, I'm playing a tiefling bard named Charm." It's like,
it's a glamour bard too.
Glamour, yeah.
And it's literally just like two complete opposite personalities and character types. However, I thought you guys did excellent in like bouncing off each other.
Oh,
like it was hysterical.
I wanted to bring this
amazing.
up. Lydia, your ad lib performance, specifically when it came to what was that? Karen, the horse.
Freaking that horse.
Dude, that was
wild. That took a turn.
Yes. It's just because it was all made up on the spot. It was all made up on the spot.
It was 100%. None of that was planned. We were just doing stuff, and it was at the very beginning. I had mentioned I don't have a horse anymore. It died, and then somehow we wrote an entire novel
about this horse.
About this horse.
The rails with that one.
About Dave's entire friends and family. And, like, my whole genealogy was, gosh dang, put on display. Where I'm like, yeah, I had a horse that died. And then somehow it developed into the name of the horse was Karen. And Karen was the worst horse. Just like a murderous killer who killed my friend...
Your friend John.
My friend John.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And and Joe, another one of my friends, was in the attempt to avenge John because of Karen stealing cinnamon, which went wrong, which is how John died. Yeah, it's...
So I love how Dave's two friends are John and Joe.
Well, yeah, because I was just like, I don't know, come up with names. So when I made Dave, I wanted Dave to be the most basic possible character that I could make him. So I ended up going, I chose normal human, not even variant human. So I just get a +1 to every stat, and that's all. Which is really good, mind you. That means that you, on average, get 3 more points to your stats than any other race.
Yeah.
And then I chose fighter and champion fighter. And that was it. And originally I told Lydia that I'm just gonna have like a hammer. And I was like, that's probably too good to like have a weapon. So I instead just punched things because that's a new fighting style that they added to fighter. And yeah, that was who Dave was. He was averagely smart. He had a 10 in his intelligence and wisdom. And he just hit things sometimes. Now, I actually built Dave because of the table scraps. The previous week's table scraps, people mentioned champion fighter. And I talked about champion fighter. Underrated subclass.
I mean, I thought you did excellent.
Here's the thing. People don't like champion fighter for a lot of reasons. 1, it's boring. 2, it only has abilities that involve combat.
Yeah, I mean, you're a fighter.
But even if you look at the one that gets all the fancy abilities and stuff.
The Battle Master.
They at least get proficiency in calligraphy. They get.
Doesn't Samurai also get that?
Maybe. They also have they can look at someone and tell if their stat is larger than the other person's stat and stuff like that. No, champion fighter, you crit on a 19 and a 20. You gain half of a bard ability, which means that you gain half proficiency to strength, dexterity, and con checks that you aren't already proficient in.
That's not bad.
You then crit on an 18, 19, and a 20. And you you at the capstone ability of the subclass is you heal if you're below half health but not incapacitated. So like at the end or start of your turn, you heal a little bit and start to regen back up. It's really good. It's really good. Because getting to crit on a 19 or a 20 means that instead of critting 1 out of 20 times, you crit. Thank you for the times. Like 1,000, the 10 gifted subs, Faye.
Yo, wow. Faye.
Yep.
Faye.
You now crit 1 out of every 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
That's a dramatic difference in times.
That's a 200% improvement.
Mm-hmm. And then you crit on an 18 through a 20. Dog, that's a whole lot of crits. It means, and especially with the system that we run, where crits are so dangerous.
Yeah.
Champion is terrifying.
Yeah. Like you literally crit like 4 or 5 times.
Mm-hmm. In like one round. It was just like bam, bam, crit. Like, oof.
Which honestly I was thankful for, because those crits definitely saved you.
I mean, yeah. Could you imagine if I had been using like a greatsword or a maul, and I was dealing an extra like 4 damage minimum on crits, like with the 2d6 and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. Also, shout out to Handskate. I used the silicon dice. They were crushing it out there.
Yeah. Honestly, you might need to check those dice to see if they're actually weighted properly.
I mean, it's really hard to do it because they're made of silicon. But they bounce also, so could you really say that they are weighted? Like, they just bounce everywhere. Meh. And besides, if just no one tell DJ.
Just no one tell.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
against you.
It was oh shoot, because it's now your new secret weapon, you know, like,
yeah, exactly. It's like yes.
since you roll really poorly most of the time, you know, it's just like, well, I'm gonna just try and it's just like, oh look, that's a natural 20. I don't know how.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy. I've actually cut off half of the dice, so it's just the 20 side up, and I just roll it's just flat. It's like a dome.
It can only land on a natural 20.
I just flip a coin anymore, but both sides have a 20 on it. Yeah, it was I had a lot of fun as Dave. Getting to say things like, my favorite food is bread with butter, but sometimes the butter is too spicy.
Oh my goodness, that threw me off. Like I didn't think that a bakery was going to be the one thing that I'm like, crap, I should have made a bakery.
Yeah, every time it gets you.
My favorite were just the abrupt yelling of the obvious.
A cave!
A cave!
See,
oh no! just like random interjections.
And I think this, like, honestly, like, I didn't, personally speaking, like, while I was DMing, I didn't know how to react to it, because like literally I'm like trying to set this mood, this more somber, serious mood, like this, you know, this tone of kind of this dark fog, you know, all this stuff. And every now and again, Dave's just like, a stained glass window. I'm just like, whoa, dude. Like,
calm it down. I felt a little guilty because you were like, yeah, it's going to be a little bit spooky. And I'm like, Dave is not the vibe for. But like, I couldn't just not play Dave.
I'm so honestly, like, it was so funny, but like there are literally just times I'm like, okay, well, this is not gonna be what I originally planned for. We're just gonna go for it.
My favorite one of the like little things that Dave would say was, and it's actually the only reason that it's my favorite is because of Lydia's response. I was just like, water is actually my favorite drink, and Lydia goes, I should have expected that. just like so resigned. Oh, it was so good. I really enjoyed Dave and Charm, because Dave's just like Dave was like just a mannequin that punched things and said stuff that Charm kind of just drags along with her places. And it's just like, Dave, go do something. Dave's like, yes! Then runs over and just starts punching stuff. I told Lydia afterwards, I don't know if anyone noticed it, but like Charm was like talking to maybe the innkeeper or something. Or maybe you were just like monologuing. I can't remember because I was too focused. I was just sitting there counting things that Dave didn't like. It was hard for Dave to punch. And it was like a full like 2-minute, like it was just like ghosts, werewolves, anything with wings. Like, just like counting on my hands things that, and then Lydia's like, Dave, this, and Dave's like, oh, what? It was great. Dave was a hero.
Dave was a hero.
Really, an icon. Really.
Oh my gosh, Dave is the alternate universe Cedric.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Dave and Cedric would get along so well.
Dave and Cedric would be besties.
They would.
Both of them
Dave
are soulless.
is just Cedric if Cedric was one of the main characters.
Oh man. That's so good.
Yeah.
Dave will never be seen again.
Never again.
Although I so want to play another champion fighter now. just because they're so, I could make an interesting champion fighter. It would just take, like, I would need to choose a class that isn't normal human, or a race that isn't normal human, and then some feat that is not the ones that I took. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It would just be great. 'Cause man, is it good. Man, you just crit so much.
Yeah.
3 out of your 20 numbers are crits.
You just multi-class like a couple levels into Paladin. Shoot, dude, those hits hurt.
It would just be so, or like take
or Rogue.
Maybe put myself as a bugbear, where they get the like additional 2d6 on their first round of combat against people that haven't acted, and then just start yeeting in.
Yeah, and you get a reach.
So I could take like some beefy weapon and just poke them.
Pokemon stick
would be great. Yeah, it was fun. I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed the like confusion where we're just like, was it a dream? Did we just get Twilight? Was it dreamed?
We just get Twilight.
I did find that amusing. And to clarify, it was not a dream. You technically did not get Twilighted in that, and none of it mattered, and none of it actually happened. And I'll get into that a little bit later. But we've been talking a lot about Dave. Charm, on the other hand, Charm was a joy. Like Lydia, like we mentioned it before, like your ability just to jump in is amazing. Like, and oh my goodness, honestly, I thought I viewed it as like it's the other side of like the Lydia Grant dynamic of chaos. You know, it's still pure Lydia chaos energy. However, somehow she's the one leading everyone.
yeah, that was interesting to me, because normally I'm the like, hey, let's rein these people in, try to get them on track. But this time it was not that. I was the like, I'm gonna run over here and do a thing, and then he was like,
yep,
Dave, no.
Literally leaving like breadcrumbs for him to follow.
Like, here we go.
Come on, like the Cheerio trail.
Yeah.
Come on, Dave.
Here's an animal. Dave would not like animal crackers. Crackers should not be the shapes of things.
Oh. He's such a man.
Dude.
Dave's favorite weapon, if he had to take one, would be a club.
He's such a caveman.
Well, it's too complicated to use. Like a club is just one thing. If you take a spear, it's like 2 things. That's too many things. You have to have like the pointy part of the spear and the like stick part of the spear. That's too much.
I mean, although
he's such a character.
Wouldn't he also then just like a quarterstaff too?
No. Ooh, too long.
No, it's a stick. He likes sticks.
I mean, he likes sticks, but like that's like a fashioned stick. Like that's like someone took time. Like if it was just like a stick that he picked up off the ground, he would use that.
Okay.
like Dave's club is just a table leg.
It's just yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although, see, that's been finally crafted too.
Well, yeah, but it's not for the purpose of injuring anyone.
Dave is a minimalist.
Dave is a minimalist.
I love the amount of conversation about one-shot character who's literally like there's nothing significant about it.
Lydia, your disgust of Dave's inability to eat food that is 2 different flavors was wild.
Honestly, Dave, for me, that hit too close to home. Like him being a picky eater, I'm like, oof.
He's like, so Dave can't eat a potato that hasn't already been skinned because there's too much of a variance in flavor.
See that's just weird to me.
Weirdo.
Yeah, Dave wasn't meant to be normal. He was meant to be so normal that it looped back weird. Around. It had the like Gandhi Civ 6 problem or Civ 5 where it's like his threat level is so low that if you are nice to Gandhi, then he just becomes a like dictator that tries to kill you. Like that's Dave in a nutshell.
I don't know where we are.
Well, we're talking about Dave. We don't have to talk about Dave though. We made it 30 minutes in. This is normally when we run out of content about the game.
We barely really even talked about it.
I'm not sure when it'll be on YouTube because I know that Grant's going on a trip.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
in a favorite rocket ship.
Soaring through the sky.
Little Einstein.
Little Steinine.
Yeah, Little Steinine. So it may be a little bit before it's up on YouTube and podcast and things, but it's still on the VOD for the next like 2 weeks, so you could check that out.
Right. Check it out on Twitch. You can watch it.
What else?
So, if I may, Aaron, take the reins here just a little bit.
Oh, go for it.
No.
Well.
So there's a lot of stuff that I would
stop, Lydia. You said no, and Drew said, "You are not the boss of me."
I don't even think Drew heard me. Drew's like tuned me out.
I did, Lydia. I did hear you, but what you said actually didn't process in my head because in my head I'm like I'm going. So like, given the fact that this was something I DM'd in my world, there's lots of stuff that I could talk about.
Oh yeah.
If you guys are so interested,
go wild.
However, I do want to put the question out there. Is there anything that you guys want me to talk about first? Is there any and this extends to chat too? It's like what is there anything that stood out to you guys from this one shot that you're most curious about, or otherwise I would just go for it. You know,
man, about the one shot itself. I don't know. Dave was. I had to really throw myself into Dave. So Dave didn't understand a lot of things and also had no desire to understand a lot of things. So I really didn't pay attention to a lot of the lore of what was going on in order to properly play my character. Did you hear any of that?
Really fast, just a second ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've noticed that there was a lag, and I'm like, that's
something about focusing on Dave and not being able to pay attention to other stuff.
Yeah, so I really wasn't paying attention to pretty much any of the lore because I was like, I don't know, Dave wouldn't know. I mean, I know I already talked about on stream my favorite part of your world, which is the like interaction between the Fae and the Shadowfell.
Yes.
But then, so what's I want to know what's the deal with the Curse Lands? What's up with that?
So
reveal your secrets.
So the Curse Lands was more or less, for one thing, it was basically my thought of like, okay, what's a really easy, just basic kind of plot hook that I can give Aaron and Lydia.
What's your MacGuffin?
You know, it's just something that's really simple, you know, pretty well used. Like, oh yeah, in pretty much most worlds, there is an equivalent to a cursed land kind of thing, right? So, and when I was creating the one shot, what hurt the most for me was the fact is like it's a one shot, except I'm enough of a storyteller. There's so much I want to tell, but I can't do that all in one shot. So so in my opinion, the coolest part about this one shot is stuff that you guys don't even know about, because you guys were just kind of along with for the ride, which in its own way is, I think is kind of neat, just because it can kind of show some of the vastness of what I want my world to be. Anyway, but the Cursed Lands actually weren't supposed to exist at all, and they basically showed up after a undead arcane mage who actually I need to back up. So
is it the ones that we punched?
It is the one that you punched.
Nice.
So in the one shot, you guys are playing in the Second Age, specifically in the year 107 of the Second Age. However, given how recent the ages began, since it's only been about 100 years, it's not a very long time. There are still several people that are alive from the First Age.
Oh yeah.
And during that time, the ability that people had with arcane prowess was much higher. Before a bunch of stuff happened and some crazy
lore.
And so the person that you were fighting actually here, let me pull it up here quick before I
happens.
Was actually he used to be a man named Brenvark Tuum. He basically was this very, very powerful mage, not like one of the most powerful mages by any means from his age, but still very powerful mage who helped in what is known as the War for Creation at the end of the First Age.
Gotcha.
Basically, and to briefly sum up what that is, the War of Creation. In my world, there were 3 celestial entities, not like, and what I mean by that, like three species of celestial beings, right? So like they're the fiends, the divine gods, and a neutral force called the Voktun.
I remember this from when we played in this in your world like several years ago.
Yeah, a couple years. Yeah, and basically they all had relatively equal amounts of power. The Voktun, in theory, had a little bit more because they basically acted as the neutral force that kept the fiends and the divine in check between each other. There's not too much life. There's not too much destruction. However, for unknown reasons, and I purposely keep this vague even to myself because I like the mystery aspect of it, the Voktun were not immortal. They lived for many, many thousands of years, but they were not immortal like the gods or the fiends. And so they were slowly dying off and created celestial constructs that would take the place of them when they died off. However, said constructs, in kind of an Ultron fashion, basically viewed all of creation, the cycle of creation and destruction, as this horrible thing that is better to never existed to begin with than to be able to live and die. And so that's what sparked the War of Creation, where basically everyone is trying to stop the creation of the Voktun, the Tukara, from destroying everything. And so this mage, Brenvark, actually participated in that War of Creation, and he played a part, not necessarily a significant part. However, he was very egotistical and kind of narcissist, and thought that he was this amazing person that the war would have ended horribly if it weren't for him, which isn't necessarily the case. And so at the end, when he didn't receive some of the rewards that other people received that he thought he deserved, he became extremely jealous, which then, coming into the Second Age, led to him seeking higher amounts of power, and basically kind of took him on this journey of basically becoming a more evil and darker version of himself. Because overall, he was still a pretty decent guy in the first age. I mean, but basically in being consumed by his jealousy and envy, became this really dark, corrupted version of himself, which eventually led to him, dying. But in the process, he cursed himself with undeath because of his anger and his vengeance. Hence him becoming a Skull Lord. And his ultimate goal actually was to become a Lich. However, in the original timeline of the world, he was stopped by a party of adventurers. However, basically, while he was in the process of trying to become a Lich. However, he, when he was defeated, he escaped and basically hid himself for many, many years within some of the ancient ruins of some of these arcane cities that used to exist back in the first age. And he discovered basically an impartial version of a way to transport himself through time, at least a couple of years, basically. And so what happened was when he traveled back in time, he went to this hometown of these adventurers and basically created the Cursed Lands in an attempt to destroy them before they ever became adventurers, allowing him in the future to ascend.
And would that be Tristan and his group?
Yeah, so Tristan, Amara, gotcha. and Kor are basically were these three people, and so basically at the end,
God dang it, Kor.
At the session when you met them, it was in present time, and that was like basically a couple years before they would become these adventurers who would stop him.
Gotcha.
Who would stop Bernberg. So that's what the Cursed Lands. Basically, it was this attempt to rebuild his forces, starting at the heart of where he was stopped last time.
Gotcha. So, at the very beginning, we were given this mission by some lady in a black and gold dress that for some reason I can't remember the name of.
Vanessa
Ivy.
Yeah.
The lady.
What's
lass.
her deal?
So first of all, Vanessa Ivy totally doesn't exist.
Okay. Was it the big scary thing at the door the whole time?
So Vanessa Ivy is one of three beings that played a significant role in the one shot, but were purposely kept very mysterious, mostly because I didn't have time to delve into anything about them. But she does have a name. However, I don't even know currently. I'll probably develop it later if it becomes significant. But she's known as the Memory Keeper.
Gotcha.
She is basically a minor god who is very, very well practiced in magic, with a very, very powerful pull on memories. So she's the reason that you guys didn't recognize certain people at certain times.
Gotcha.
And yeah.
And I assume that means that the person that we met was actually one of those three that was like staring at the bowl.
Gotcha. So the other two then. So the very large man that was with Vanessa when you first met her, and also the same person that you saw in the inn that Charm recognized vaguely, is known as the Timekeeper.
Okay.
He and again, like, the reason you didn't recognize him again was because the whole idea was that, like, you guys are being employed to do this thing. However, you can't necessarily you can't know, because otherwise that might cause more issues.
Yeah, they can't just tell you, hey, we need to send you back in time to deal with these people, because then we might try to affect things in the past that would be negative for the future. Gotcha.
And so the Timekeeper is the person who, obviously, to confirm, yes, you guys were sent back in time, specifically 5 years. And so that's who that was. And then the third person that you met, this more this I would say the strangest of the three, is the one with the face of stars, is known as the Cosmic Keeper, who basically has power over space and not just spaces in like outer space,
but
or
like
like
teleportation
in my world,
and dimension and stuff like that.
So basically, the three of them, as a combination, have not unlimited power, but a great amount of power around the idea of traveling through space and time, and that
without
kind of stuff,
blowing it up.
Gotcha. And so, like with you guys, like, while they could not directly get involved, they could be like, okay, well, here are these champions of this, who still exist in a near, a relatively short span of time. They still were alive within when this originally happened, or all the stuff, because they don't, again, like, they don't have unlimited control. Like, they couldn't just send you back to the beginning of time. In my head, like, there's several different reasons for it, but in my head, like, they could at most maybe send you back 10 years.
Gotcha.
Or send you forward in time 10 years. And so they had to kind of be selective with who they picked to help, because there had to be so many people that lived,
that were alive within a 10-year radius, strong enough to
Mm-hmm.
deal with the problem, and dumb enough to not blow it.
And yeah, well, or dumb enough to just go through with it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, your world has... It's a shame, because your world has a whole lot of work. Like, you've put a ton of work into it. And you've never super gotten a chance to, like, do a whole bunch with it, which sucks. We'll have to remedy that somehow in the paper dungeon. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Maybe in a year or so, we'll have like a once a month thing.
Yeah, who knows? We'll figure. Look, if y'all want, and this is to the stream people, the viewers, the Dungeoneers. If y'all want more stuff from us in terms of like different worlds and things like that, please tell us. Tell us what you want to see. Tell us what you want to do. Because I know that, like, I would love to, like, I mean, I will be, but like, I would love to show people like my own homebrew world and stuff like that.
Next Monday.
Yeah, next Monday. That was actually
so
a topic that I was going to head towards. This was a lead-in. I know that Lydia is going to be running her own world with some of the viewers and stuff and things like that, just on her own time.
That makes me excited, but
yeah, like,
for you guys,
I just think it'll be like, we've got a lot of content in our brains. I know I'm excited for this coming Monday. We're going to be journeying to the world of Marith, which is it's the homebrew world that I ran for what, like 3 years?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Just at back home way before the paper dungeon started, and I can actually tell the two of you now, because Drew, you're probably going to be playing the same character that you played in the original campaign, right?
That is my plan. Yes.
But Lydia. Also, Drew, do you happen to know the level that you were at that point in time?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think, I'm trying to remember. I could run out to my car and grab my character sheet, because I still have it. If I recall correctly, I thought we were like level 10.
Okay. Well, we're gonna. I think I kind of want to do a bit higher. I think I kind of want to go to like level 15.
Ooh.
Some level 15 shenanigans.
I mean, I'm down.
Lydia, I want to know. So obviously you don't know anything about it, but I'm totally okay with us figuring out character developments and talking about those characters before Monday. Even with the viewers and stuff, this doesn't have to be a surprise, because it'll help me build a game better. Also, I can't guarantee that it will be 2 hours long. I might need 4 hours to do well. So I hope people are available to do a longer stream. But but I'm planning on a higher level, like 15, like level 15 game. It's going to be just in the middle of an apocalypse. So,
I'm so ready. I'm so excited.
I want to know just off of middle of an apocalypse, and I would love if the stream could also respond. If you had to choose a class to play in the middle of the apocalypse, what would it be?
Class to play, middle of an apocalypse.
And this doesn't have to be your final answer. I'm just interested to know like what your choice would be. I know. Oh geez, in the middle of an apocalypse, Ranger is a good one. I might choose like Druid or something. Cleric feels like it would be a bad choice. Like if the world is ending, I don't know if I'd want to be a cleric.
Well, specifically with your world too, given the fact that it's like,
yeah, especially,
it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work out.
Tiefling bard.
There you go. You just charm your way to make everyone else like take care of you.
Yeah.
I mean, I think because I don't want to do because I do the same ones all the time, and I want to do something new.
Well, I'm just asking in general, like right now, if the world ended,
if the world was
and
ending,
you were presented with a box that
I'd
said choose, nice. Do you have any specific subclass of rogue? Assassin, just killing people on the street.
I am the apocalypse. I don't know what subclass I'd go for rogue.
Fair.
I just know I'd go rogue. But for this, I think I do want to try to do ranger. Try to figure out ranger.
Ooh. Are we going double ranger? Because I know that Drew's also a ranger.
Let's go.
I'm
Drew
in.
is a ranger?
I'm in. Drew,
Because it's already established. Oh gosh, then never mind. I won't be a ranger.
Okay.
I mean, you could be a ranger. It's fine.
No, I personally never like doubling up classes, just because like I'm not good at being like real like special with features, and so I always feel like I'm just copying what somebody else is doing when I double up classes. So that's why I tend to deviate when somebody else chooses the same class as me.
That's fair.
What is it?
Do you want some?
Grant
Do you want
have them
some?
established?
I don't think. Well, Grant's gonna be gone, isn't he?
That is true. So is it just me and Drew?
As far as I know.
I need to look at what.
So to put my input here on the question. First of all, I personally, if the apocalypse happened in real life right now, I would either pick probably Ranger, because I've already picked Ranger for an apocalypse campaign. That's the fact that I already have a Ranger for the next one shot. Or I would pick Wizard, specifically either Abjuration or Conjuration, because magic is really useful for surviving.
I don't know. Wizard is such a different. I feel like I would want to choose like a physically based non-magic, like in real life. If I was given a choice of class and the apocalypse was happening right now, magic seems so sketchy to me, because it's like if I choose Wizard, there aren't just a bunch of magical tomes already. So like I'm kind of running into nowhere. But if I just choose like Barbarian or something like that, then most of the things that are going to be coming at me, I'm at least resistant to.
Well, that's fair. Now, granted, in the context of the question, I would assume that if Wizard is an option, there's a way to learn.
I mean,
right?
Yeah, you'll figure something, but like, you're probably not going to find scrolls to copy or anything like that.
No.
Yo, new Let's Not art just dropped.
Wait, hold on.
Pause the question.
Wait, because I'm about to drop some art too. Hold on, I'm excited.
And all.
I think I'm gonna go Barbarian though. And Silas.
Yo.
Oh, okay, that's rad. That's so rad, dude. Oh, that's so fantastic.
Oh my goodness, the little mustache. I can't get over that. For those of you who don't know, let's not. Oh, also, hello, Logan. Welcome to chat. First time chat thing. But Let's Not has been putting tarot cards in the fan art section of our Discord, based off of the Between the Rows series that we do every year. Right now, they are on season 2, Between the Rows 1871. And they are sick nasty. They're some gosh dang killer art.
Great stuff.
It's really cool.
It's the map of Chicago in the back. Then there's the symbol on the like platform he's standing on.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to see what else there is.
Good detail.
That's so cool. There's just so many little like background things that are just amazing. Like that's just so cool. Just oh man, Let's Not does incredible work. That threw me so off track. I get so excited.
It's so exciting.
I need to give a little bit of I'll give you a little bit of context, Lydia, as to what exactly is going on. I'll rehash it on Monday, but this is just the kind of unplanned general explanation of what's happening. So this world, Marith, is a world of 6 cities. There is one on each pole, and then 4 spaced equally around the planet itself. It is not a particularly large planet. Traveling between cities with any source of speed should take under like 3 weeks, probably somewhere around there, 3 to 4 weeks, maybe a month of travel between cities. And all of the gods are gone except for one. Basically, long ago, there was a whole bunch of gods. They fought a war against the elemental planes, very similar to Dark Sun, where they fought against the elemental planes, except on this world, the gods won. And when they defeated the elemental planes, they locked Marith away from all other planes of existence. So, like, you couldn't travel to the elemental planes, you couldn't travel to the Shadowfell, the Feywild, anything like that. And things were really good for a while, and then things got really bad, because a bunch of the gods were like, this sucks, I don't want to be here. And decided to just skedaddle on out of there. Of course, that causes problems, because now the plane is a godless, planeless world, trapped and alone, and there's nothing to control all of the like wild magic craziness that the gods previously had a handle on. The domains are left empty. The only god that remained, for the life of me, I can never remember their name, but it was the god of the abandoned. So like the god of the god of beggars and wanderers. Since now that everyone had been abandoned, they by nature could not leave. So they kind of took control, raised these 6 cities or safe points across the world to kind of protect those living in it. And then in order to maintain power and kind of control, they basically gifted mortals with a fragment of divine power. The God Spawn is what they were called. And then those ruled over the cities. And things still sucked, but it sucked on a smaller amount. So there are very few people left surviving in this world, and almost no one knows what happens beyond their cities. Communication through the cities is normally there's some limited teleportation, and there is some contact. But at the start of the campaign that I ran, both the northern and southern cities had been disconnected. So no one knew what had happened to them. They were presumed to have fallen. That was where the campaign that I started. The group that I played with that consisted of Drew and Mickey Joe CJR in the chat he came in a little later. But a bunch of people that I knew from home were basically exiled from one of the cities into the wild and traveled around the planet, going to different cities and covering different things. Ryan, player of Havel, was also a member of this campaign. And things went both good and bad for all of them. And where we left off in the campaign, when we stopped playing and we never played again, the characters were about to fight a god spawn while inside of a giant mech. Oh, Grant was there as well. I forgot about Grant. And they had just finished. They had like an evening banquet, and then they were prepared to fight the god spawn of the first city, the Shining City, the god spawn of life and death.
Life and death. Nothing can go wrong. You fight the god of life and death.
Yeah, no, it was great. And we are actually, so this coming Monday, we're going to pick up after that fight has ended.
And everything had gone terribly wrong.
Yeah, it's Drew, your character actually doesn't really know how everything fully ended.
Oh, lovely.
So, like, you were not winning nor losing against the god of life, or the god spawn of life and death. You think that you defeated it. It's hard to know, because just as the fight was kind of coming to a close...
Oh, wait a second. Wasn't it that Ryan's character?
Ryan's character unlocked one of the chains below the City of Life and Death. So each one of those cities kind of acted as a lock, keeping the world away from all the other planes. And Ryan's character was slowly getting possessed by some like fire prince kind of thing, and unlocking those chains, which is like, oh great, we're introducing the other planes. It also means that they're just bursting with energy, so the planet gets kind of ripped apart when that chain is broken. Literally, the world is in fragments now, and you guys are just going to have to deal with that. So a bunch of chaotic planar energy is flowing all throughout the world. You were launched from the giant mech. Your ship is in ruins. The Silken Maiden is just
that's a shame.
Blown up. Just fragments of floating stones.
Question.
Yes.
Do I still have my bow?
Yes, you will still have your bow. Okay. I will tell you what that will do before the game happens.
So to clarify a little bit for the viewers, so the session before we go to fight, as our prep session, right? We're doing some stuff. We're getting ready to fight this god spawn. Aaron gives me this magical like mechanical bow that is supposed to be like a god slaying bow.
Yeah, it's
and I was so hyped. I was so excited, and then I never got to use it.
Yep. So basically, they discovered on these pedestals that were used to unlock the chains surrounding the planet. They were powered by a living piece of divinity. So a fragment of a god from before the gods left. And he had just been given a bow that was also powered by a very small fragment of like divinity. And it was named the Godslayer. It was literally just the Godslayer bow. Never got to use it. Never figured out what it does. So neat.
But hey,
great
job. Now I do.
Yeah,
I get to figure it out before this upcoming Monday. I get to use it. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see how a post-apocalyptic world had a second apocalypse.
Oh, yeah. They were never even out of the first one, to be fair. Things are always a downhill. It just got momentarily paused. It's like...
Yeah, it momentarily plateaued.
So it was like they had a pressurized bucket that was very slowly dripping water, and then they taped over it. And now the pressure of the water has built up so much that they remove the tape and it just blasts through the side of the bucket. So you guys are currently in the midst of the blasted open bucket. And I don't know if you guys are... I don't know if there's a way to stop it. Like, I don't think you can fix the bucket. But...
Can we just get a new world? How about that?
Who knows? I have some plans that'll be for you guys to figure out. But yeah, I'm excited to... Hey, Ryan, this is actually a good question. Mickey Jesse JR. Do you want your character to have lived? I need to ask all of my players. Like, did your character live through the battle with the god of life and death? So that's a important question.
I feel like Diego probably...
Yeah, Joey's dead.
Probably dead. Yeah.
Joey's dead.
Like, he was on the front line. Like
100%. The dude almost died in every fight against a god spawn that you had. If this one things went so wrong, I don't think you made it through.
I mean, yeah, I mean, he was the one like actually like using the mech,
Yeah.
like doing like the fisticuffs. So I'm like
doing the like big punchies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like me, at least my character was like real far away.
You're like, well, I'm just gonna be on a boat, foop, 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 launching arrows. But yeah, I'm interested to know. Oh, I've already told Grant this. So, also Lydia, if at any point in time you discover your character, I will stop anything to listen to what you have to say because I want to know it real bad. Actually, you can interrupt me for any reason. I'm just talking now to fill air. So Grant was playing a race that I had made for my homebrew world called the Reborn. I believe that was their name. And basically they were intelligent undead who had basically in the first city, the Shining City, they had a problem because it was the godspawn of life and death. Ooh. Also, congratulations, Logan. I hope that it goes really well. Manahelm? Manaheim? Took me a second. It looked like an L on my screen. First of all, super rad world name. But I hope that it goes well. Ryan, I will say that you totally died with the use of the Leviticus canon, the Levistus canon. So, okay, I'll explain what exactly we mean by that. Ryan, aka Mickey Joe CJ, he streams on Twitch. Go follow him. Was playing a warlock who had Tomb of Levistus, which makes a shield around yourself when you get hit that absorbs a bunch of damage. And one of the things he was like, could I just like fall from really high and then just Levistus tomb myself into the body of whatever I'm trying to hit? And I was like, I mean, technically, probably, yeah, probably. So yeah, that's absolutely the way that you went out. You're just like eagle dove off of the top of some mech or a flying boat, and then just a Levistus cannon, the god of life and death.
That was actually the finishing blow. Yeah.
Well, I mean, theoretically. But anyway, Grant, he was playing a Reborn. So the Reborn are intelligent undead from the first city because the godspawn of life and death basically leaked life energy. So when a person died, they didn't always die. Sometimes they woke up with some or none of their memories. There was a scale. And they also had a problem with space. Manaheim. So they would just throw them basically into the trash pit, which was the lowest ring. Of course, not everyone who died was found. So there were some running throughout the city, hiding from the authorities and stuff like that. And then there were others that were living in full communities, like in the lowest ring of the city. But if you had more than 50% of your memory, then you had like strikingly blue eyes. And if you had less than 50% of your memory, but more than like 10%, you had red eyes. And the less memory that you had remain from when you were alive, the redder your eyes got. And Grant was playing one of the Reborn, who he knew that he had a wife, knew that he had a kid, didn't remember who either of them were. And so that was kind of his goal. Yes, the character's name was Q, because he also couldn't remember his own name except for the first letter. So he was just like Q. He found the soul of his wife. So his wife was dead, but she would like speak to him and follow him around and stuff once he found her. Cool little thing, Drew. In this fight, you were going to meet Grant's daughter, because she
in one shot.
Yeah, well, not in the one shot. In the fight against the Godspawn of Life and
Against the
Death,
Godspawn?
she was going to be the leading, like one of the head paladins of the Godspawn of Life and Death's army. Because he had taken her in and raised her in the church to be like on one of the highest tiers of divinity,
Wow.
in his army, and she had no idea that Q was there, or even that Q was her dad. So that was going to be fun to navigate. But
dude,
who knows how it happened now?
Now, one question I do have, Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
Are we on Monday are we basically just going to open up with this cinematic scene of the world falling apart around us?
Oh, yeah, pretty much.
Yes. Okay, great. This is
I'll have a bit of a monologue to explain to those who weren't here for the Thursday stream kind of what the world is, how it like what's all going through it and stuff, and then I'll probably open up with your character, Drew, just because you're the one who has been in this world before. You kind of know the vibe of it, and then you will find Lydia's character, and then the two of you will work together to do something.
To survive.
I don't know what. That's
survival is the goal.
Oh, also a very important key to this world. Above each city, there was a literal crack in the sky that was a direct portal into the divine domain. So one of my favorite pieces of lore was in the first city, which was obviously the city that was first raised by the god of the Forgotten and the Abandoned. They built in a tiered city upwards into this massive spire. The spire was as close as they could get to the portal. And the priests who lived in that spire had literally looked into the divine plane and gone blind, but gained the ability to like see into the future and see the world around them in different ways. And then so they could literally survey the entirety of their domain from that area at the top of the tower. And then the Godspawn of Life and Death would just literally laser beam himself to different areas in the city to deal with crime. He was kind of the worst. he was like basically the worst. Yeah, it was super fun. I'm excited to.
I miss playing in that world, dude.
Well, I mean, hey, you'll get to see it again.
Get to see it again. Yeah, see how everything went wrong.
Like I love this world. I would love to do more games of it in the future, whether it be on Table Scraps or like on a as a one shot on Monday, or I would love to run another longer term campaign in this world as well. Not sure when I'll get a super chance to do that, but there's so many different time periods that you could go into in this world, and that's why I love it, is because you can go into the area where we are now, where the world is falling apart. It's in the middle of the second apocalypse in like less than 500 years. You could go to the beginning of the first apocalypse. You could go to the time when there was peace in the lands and only the gods were there and none of them had left. You could go to before that, where it's the War of the Planes, where the gods are fighting against all of the other planes of existence. Or you could go beyond into the future, past this apocalypse, where theoretically the world doesn't end, because that would be a really lame way to run a D&D world. To just be like, well, actually, no, everyone dies.
Everyone's gone. Everyone's dead.
Yeah, so I'm pumped. This is one of the things that I've put the most work into in terms of D&D in a long time. There were homebrew classes, homebrew monsters. Some of those homebrew monsters haunt my players to this day. That was fun times. Really enjoyed that.
Yes, so like session 1.
Session 1.
Like session 1, all the cities around in the world, that they're considered the only safe places, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so literally session 1, all of us get kicked out of the city that we're in for different reasons. And literally just like, all right, now try and survive. And like literally like we got like the 5% chance of a random encounter where like Aaron had to roll on a table and then like somebody had to like light a torch at a specific time while we were traveling in order to get this specific random encounter. And of course, that's what happened.
You had to be at a specific. You had to choose the direction you were going because they could go northeast, south, or west. They chose to go west. It had to be at least 2 days into the travel. You had to light a torch, and then I also had to roll on the table, and all of those things had happened, and
so then we got attacked by really, really scary like undead wraith centaur people that like were really, really creepy and terrifying because we're all like level 1 and like just getting just destroyed. Like literally, like we had like a bunch of just NPCs that also got like exiled with us that like just because why not? And like literally they all died instantly. Like they're all gone. Like
some of them lived. The one that was a murderer lived.
Yes, that is true. Some of them did live. Granted, we abandoned them at like the first like village we found.
Yeah, you were like, stay here. I don't want to deal with you. They're like, that's fair, dog. There was also the encounter with the Twisted Dryads, where you like cross the border into the forest. And it was like a paradise, and you were like, oh, this is awesome. And it was one of my favorite things that I've ever done. Is they were like, I was like, hey, could you please roll a wisdom saving throw because these dryads are trying to convince you to stay. And one of them goes, I'm an elf. Was it you who was like, I'm an elf, I have advantage on against being charmed? And I was like, this isn't a charm save, it's against fear. And everyone was like, that's not good. And they were like super twisted, messed up dryads that were concealing the way that they looked, and it appeared to be as though they were charming people, but in reality it was such a deep sense of dread that you couldn't run away, and that was it was super great. And then they had to figure out their way out of there.
I had to figure out a way to escape.
Good times.
It was dude, I hated that so much. Like for me personally as a player, like charm effects or similar kind of effects to that, like fear effects, I absolutely hate. I hate the idea that I can't do the things that I want to do. It's just the worst because I have an issue with control.
Hey, the first step is admitting that you have it. Lydia, I want to know. Now that you've heard a bit more about the world, have you thought any more about the character? Are you going with?
I think I'm gonna go barbarian. But I'm over here like
question.
Oh
Drew's
no!
Like, I just want to do the things I want to do. He freaking paralyzed me for like an hour.
In your one shot.
Oh yeah.
Nightwalker, and then he's like, oh.
Okay, to be fair, it was one round. That was it.
It was like 2 rounds.
Literally, it was multiple. It was like 2 rounds.
Yep, because she
2
missed,
rounds.
2 turns.
With these freaking bajillion people, it lasted an hour, my guy.
I mean, I never said it didn't last an hour. I'm just saying it was 1 round. It just felt like forever because there's a lot of people.
We'll have to review the tapes on that one, Drew. But for now, I'll believe you. I'm gonna flag on the field. We're going to go to the tapes to review. We'll get back to you. Yeah. Do you have any idea what subclass of barbarian?
No idea.
I feel like we're gonna get along.
I want to hope for zealot. That's what I'm gonna hope for.
Zealot barbarian.
Zealot barbarian. That's.
Although
what I'm
I mean, to be fair, zealot barbarian would have the best chance of survival.
That's what I'm voting for it. I'm putting my money on the table. I hope for zealot, just because I like zealot. I think zealot barbarian is super cool.
Well, because I wanted to do something I haven't done before. I have been a barbarian before, but it was for a one shot. I did once. So
look, Lydia, eventually you get to the point where you've pretty much played all the classes, so then you just have to start coming up with things like Dave.
Well, there's like some that I'm like not even like interested in, or like I've done one shots and I just don't want to do.
That's fair. But I'm excited.
I I've never played a druid and probably never will.
Oof.
What? Druid is my favorite.
Drew and Lydia, the polar opposites of people.
Yeah.
For real, we uncovered this more and more.
I like druid. Pretty much nothing interests me about druid. Like, I'm sorry.
Druids are
Like
literally the coolest.
they are cool. They're powerful. Personally speaking, I like literally like I tried. I literally tried. Like, I remember like this was like probably a year ago at this point. We were trying to do a one shot. And I thought maybe I should do a druid. I've never played a druid before. I looked through all the subclasses for druids. I'm like, all these sound so boring and not like stuff I want to play. So I didn't play it.
Ouch. That's rough.
Circle of the Moon.
Circle of the Moon
Forever.
is just disgustingly good.
It's so fun.
Actually, this is a topic. Thank you for reminding me.
Wizards.
So I'm sure that both of you have seen the advertisements for the D&D movie.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Thoughts?
Aaron, when it
I
comes
haven't
out,
seen it.
I talked to Hans
haven't seen
Hans
the
about
trailer.
this. You haven't seen the trailer?
I've been avoiding
Oh,
it.
we should
Why?
watch the trailer.
Cause like I don't want to see the trailer. I don't want to know. I don't want to
Why
know
not?
anything. I want to go in with no expectations.
Oh no.
That's fair. Anyway,
Well-
I'm pretty sure I was talking with Hans about this the other day, Aaron. You and myself, when it comes out, we need to sit down and watch the movie and do a breakdown, basically, of like all the rules that don't get followed.
Okay.
basically.
Okay.
You're gonna
so
be
here's the thing.
those people.
Here's the thing. All right. I think people are misunderstanding some things about this movie. I've seen people are throwing like hands over this movie, and I think people are misunderstanding.
Well, okay, so to clarify, I'm super excited for the movie. I think it's going to be great. However, I think it'll also be amusing to look at the differences between actual D&D and the movie.
So I think that people. So first of all, there's
Combat better be 6 seconds.
That's what I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay. So, one, there are people who are like, I wish that like they're avoiding a lot of the like super cool parts about the world. First off, this isn't a movie about a location in Dungeons and Dragons. This isn't a first-person delve into the Sword
Realms.
Coast or the Forgotten Realms or anything. This isn't a novel written about the location.
Mm-hmm.
This is clearly someone's game based in this world.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing that we need to understand. Second of all, this is clearly not a streamed game of Dungeons and Dragons. This, like, just from what I've seen of the trailer, this looks exactly like what one of my games would have been when I first started DMing.
Oh, 100%.
And so if you view it from that area, it's beautiful because no one has any idea what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And that's awesome because you don't, when I started DMing, I didn't care about the rules. I didn't even know what they were.
See, and this is like I get nervous with there being a movie now because it's like this kind of stuff, especially like once there's movies and things like that, these more niche things, they get so gatekeepy. And like, and here's the thing, it's like there is already people who are really gatekeepy with D&D and stuff like that. And so it's like, it's cool because going at it from that perspective, it's going to be such a cool way to introduce new people to it. And it's going to reach people like that would never even consider.
Yeah, they're going to go, Chris Pine, and
They're gonna
just
go,
watch the movie.
What? And then, so it has a lot of like really good like potential for what it could do as far as like the D&D community, but it could also be like a
Really
lot
hurtful.
of people could be really like not happy with it and then gatekeepy about it and
Yeah, because like as I said, like I'm watching this trailer, and I see things in it that aren't like, oh yes, this clearly follows the rules of Dungeon. Like they're clearly, but like, dog, the amount of classes that I've made where like, actually the Homebrew World is a really good example. Ryan's character played a a warlock, and the Levistus's tomb is cold. And he was like, could it be fire? And I was like, yeah. Like, who cares, dude?
Right.
And that amount of stuff, like, it's just, you just do cool stuff. It doesn't really matter. It's not like a professional thing. And so that's what I hope that people can grow to view this movie as. Because, like, first off, if you've seen the original Dungeons & Dragons movie, you literally could not make a D&D movie and it would be better than that movie. You could make a still shot of a single grid, and like without even minis on it, and it would be better than the original D&D movies, or movie. This is going to be fine. I'm hoping for just fantasy Guardians of the Galaxy. That's all I'm hoping.
That's what I'm expecting.
That's what I'm hoping for.
I'm trying not to have expectations.
Quincy!
I just want to have fun with that.
Hello! I didn't see... have you already streamed today? I can never remember if you stream on Thursdays or not. But either way, it's good to see.
The movie was a great D&D movie. Oh, that's fantastic. That's really funny.
But yeah,
Oh, shoot,
I'm
you're
like,
right.
I'm really trying not to get super, super hyped about it.
Oh, I wouldn't.
Because I know if I get super hyped, I'm going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
But I know if I go in just for like, it's gonna be fun, have a good time,
just show
enjoy
up
it.
And watch for Chris Pine, and that's all you need. Also, good luck at have fun at Gen Con, Quincy. I wish that I could go to things like that, but I can't.
hey, I really, really, really want us to be able to go to Gen Con next year.
I'm in, dog. I've been wanting to go to cons for like 10 years.
Honestly, if like timeline of like this year went a little bit differently, I would have really tried to get us to do it this year. But then with like the move, with a lot of changes happening, blah 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 blah, I am determined to make this happen next year.
Awesome. I mean, I'm down. Also, can I just point out how wild this is?
What?
Quincy has talked to the people who has worked on the movie. Like, dog. That's wild. We do need to go to Legoland first, though.
Okay, we do need to go to Legoland. But Maz, so Gen Con is like a big convention thing in Indiana for...
It's in Indiana?
Like, board games. Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, set our calendars now.
My dad would go all the time.
August 3rd through 6th is Gen Con 2023.
Right. I'll start prepping.
Shoot, I need a crap, dog. We need to go to Gen Con.
We do need to go to Gen Con. And here's the thing, is like my dad, back when we were in Indiana, my dad went all the time and he helped do setup things and stuff like that. So I'm 100% gonna do a little bit of networking and try to see what we can do, because like I really, really, really want us to go.
Oh man.
We like I love to like we're gonna like it's gonna be like a couple months before Gen Con, and we're gonna be like, okay guys, so like what do you want to do, like how are we gonna do this? And Lydia's gonna be like, oh yeah, I got us a table.
It's like, all right, here's what's happening.
And it's gonna be like
3 panels.
so look guys,
okay,
we have a couple panels. One's a Q&A, one's a live game, and then the other is just kind of a hangout session.
Also,
I don't
we
know
have
if I can get us as like featured creators or anything. Definitely like
you'll be co-DMing for Brendan Mulligan and Matthew Mercer.
No,
yep.
I can't do that. Stop.
No. Oh
my goodness, that would be.
Dog,
someday maybe.
I'm just fine with going.
Honestly, just going, hanging out. We don't need anything. Just
and buy things.
Yeah. And this can be our excuse.
A sub to Quincy Faye.
This can be our excuse to like, this is our TPD like get together. Is just, hey, TPD people, like the cast is going to go to get a Gen Con. If you want to meet us there.
But yeah, I've been wanting to go for, like, we live in Nebraska, so there's like Nebraska Con, I guess technically that's a thing that is a
there?
thing. Yeah, it's a thing. It exists.
There's a Nebraska con?
Yeah, there's a Nebraska con.
What?
Never been. I know some people who have been. Don't know if I would say that it's worth it,
Dude,
but it's a thing. It exists.
What?
Quincy, I've forgotten that Nebraska is a state.
Nebraska con? What?
Yeah, I don't like. Yeah, that's a thing. You can search it up. It exists. It's real.
No. CornCon is my convention.
CornCon. It's Lydia. She stands there.
It's just me.
She stands there in a field of corn.
I'm a walking CornCon.
This is the whole con. It's just Lydia in a cornfield. Just waving.
What?
Joining in.
That does remind me, Aaron.
Yes.
I need to work with you to get the stuff on Patreon up.
Yes.
What do you do at Nebraska con?
I don't know. Cry because you're at Nebraska Con. I just saying though, if Nebraska Con reached out to us and was like, "Hey, we would love for you to have a booth," I would not turn it down. Shout out to Nebraska Con.
Aaron,
Hold on, I can't hear you. I ripped my headphones out.
Can you, Grant, and I go to a Renaissance fair?
I'm sorry. What?
Can you, Grant, and I go to a Renaissance fair?
Yes, that's another thing that I want to do. Go to more Ren fairs and get ripped so I can cosplay at Ren fairs better. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. That's what Nebraska Con is. You go, oh, my bad. Sorry about that. Didn't realize I was.
Just,
my bad.
It's literally just a bunch of people in a warehouse. Nothing in the warehouse. Just occasionally bumping into each other and being like, just like, oh, my bad. Sorry.
Oh
man.
Hold on.
Virgin Iron, baby.
I spelled so many things wrong in that.
Yeah. We need to. Shoot, I need to get together with a friend of mine that was like, "Hey, let's lift," and I need to start doing that more. Yeah, no, I would love to go to Gen Con or anything else. Cons are super cool, and I've never been to one, and I want to. And I think it would be cool for us to do. I had a topic that I was going to speak on. I don't remember what it was. Shoot.
I mean...
Oh, gosh. Oh, geez. Oh, have you seen... This isn't the topic, but this is just an interesting thing. I don't know if anyone cares about it. Have you seen that Aragon is getting a show?
I've heard about this so many times in the past 2 days. And by so many times, I mean 2 times in the past 2 days.
And just talked about it in the Discord.
Oh. But now this is the 3rd day, the 3rd time. I've heard it 3 days in a row.
I mean, I think it's kind of neat. I never read the books. I thought the movie was cool. So, you know, I mean...
Oh, shoot. Lydia, read Quincy's post.
What?
Quincy sent a message in the stream chat. It's very important that you read it.
Thanks, Quincy.
Thanks, Quincy. But Aragon, son of Arathon. I also don't know if I really don't care about it either. I'm just interested in. So here's the thing.
I'm more interested in the idea that Percy Jackson is getting a TV show than Aragon.
This is what I want to talk about. What is it with all these people making movies and shows off of these books when historically they've been terrible. They've been so bad.
Okay. So
everything nowadays is just like remakes of things, you know?
I mean,
like there's been a lot in like the past like few years where it's just something that's already been made remade again.
Just at Disney.
Which nothing wrong with it. But it's kind of like
Disney
I want
remaking
original
all
stuff
of their princess stories as live action.
It started off
worse.
So I'm trying to think of the first like live action movie or show that they made of a book that I've read, and the strangely enough, the first one that comes to mind is the what's the name of them?
I mean, the first, I think
Oh,
I mean,
the riddle.
the first one that's like the really big one is Harry Potter.
Well, I mean,
So
yeah, that
was
doesn't count.
That was in 1999 when the first movie came out, I think.
What's the Chronicles? The Riddlewick? Spiderwick. They made a movie about that. It was bad.
I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what
You've
you just
never
said.
read the Spiderwick Chronicles? The books were great.
I'm not. Well, see, the thing is, I'm not big into reading books. Is the problem? I need to get. I know. I should read books. That kind of
surprises me. You seem like you would like to read books.
Well, see, I can't. Just the thing is, I can't sit down and read a book. If I were to read a book, I'd have to get into audiobooks. Which I've been meaning to do. I haven't gotten around to. But yeah, no, I know. Yeah.
But there's the Spiderwick Chronicles. Then they made like the Percy Jackson movies. They also made this hurt.
Yeah, you're right.
Hurt.
As you're right. Lord of the Rings, sir.
This hurt me so bad. Also, Hobbit movies are average. They're fine. Some of them are not good. I'm not a fan of the Velveeta cheese commercial in the middle of like the second one, where like all the gold pulls down. It just looks like Velveeta cheese, like melted cheese.
Wait, what are you talking about?
In the Hobbit movies, they're like,
oh yeah,
they like spill the molten gold, and it just looks like badly rendered Velveeta cheese. I don't even know if I'd say that the series of unfortunate events were good though. Chronicles of Narnia were pretty good. But they messed up some things in that. But like overall, the movies were good.
I mean, I think the first Chronicles of Narnia.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe that was very
solid.
Well done. The
second movie was shaky. Third movie was just nope.
Calm down. You nailed it on the first stop there. But they made the Shannara They made the Shannara series. They made a movie. Not a movie. They made a show. It was what's the music? MTV. God, MTV. Why must you ruin everything? But MTV made a series of the Shannara. They made a show based on the Shannara series. I openly wept. Not out of like, this is so
how
good.
Good it was.
But I'm like, how can you possibly blow it this hard? Like, why must you take everything I love and cherish and kill it?
Did you read the Artemis Fowl books, Aaron?
Yes, I know. I saw the gosh dang ads for it, and I refused to watch the show.
Well, so I never read Artemis Fowl. Again, not a big reader. I know I'm a terrible human being. However,
I forgive you.
And I haven't watched the movie either. However, I have watched reviews, and it is. I do find it amusing how everyone's just like, this movie is horrible.
See,
it's
that's
nothing
the thing.
Like the books. It's just bad.
I can understand if they make a movie and it isn't anything like the books, or well, not if it isn't anything, but if they like have to cut some things out.
Yeah, no, that's inevitable.
And change some stuff and adapt some things. That's a different story from just legitimately making a bad movie.
Yep.
Like, I could not say that they're good. Like, I would say that the Divergent series, I thought that the movies were pretty all right. Like, I thought that they were pretty good. I didn't read I think I read the first book. I thought that they were about on par with the books. I thought the books are fine. They're very much the same that kind of genre of adult novel, like young adult book.
The dystopian.
I could never love you because you're a glowing cactus and I'm a fainting unicorn. We were not meant to be together. And then it's like, okay, well, yeah. Hunger Games, same thing. I thought that the movies were entertaining. Like, at least they're good. They're like at least average movies. But like the Percy Jackson movies were just bad.
They were so bad.
They weren't even good movies.
They were so bad. Like the first movie was like okay-ish.
Oh god.
But like
then they just kept trying to pull it up out of nowhere. Yeah. And just blew it so hard.
It's just not good.
And they keep trying to do stuff like that. They keep trying to turn books into movies, and I'm like, okay, here's the thing. So like if you look at the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings, and you hear the way that that Peter Jackson like spoke to the actors and like the final charge of the Rohirrim. I can never remember the horse people.
The Riders of Rohan.
Yeah, those ones. You know the ones.
The Rohirrim.
Yeah, the ones that were allowed to be seen, like the ones on the front line, had to fully be able to tell you what happened in the books of that charge and why it was important. And those were the ones who got to have their like face in the movie. And that's why, is because Peter Jackson legitimately cared about the series. And so even though there were some things that weren't correct or like didn't match up or like they had to change between the books, because let me tell you, the original Lord of the Rings is a slog to read. It's basically like
it's a documentary.
It's a documentary. It's like the entire book is basically just the Iliad, where they read through the different boats.
It's a glorified encyclopedia.
Yeah, pretty much. And so, like,
nothing. By the way, just to say, nothing wrong with encyclopedias. Nothing wrong with Tolkien or the Lord of the Rings books. They're really good.
But like, the producer cared about what happened in the book and tried to keep it as close and understood the importance of what happened in it. That's what producers fail to do when they make these movie books. So it's like, even if they make a good movie, they'll still miss out on the, like, a lot of the book people will be upset because the people who are making it don't actually care about what happened in it. They don't care about the readers and why the readers care about the book and like the important parts of that. And that is what I think that they're missing, and they just get farther and farther away.
It's the tricky balance, because like, especially like with movies, like TV series is a little easier because like you have more time to tell a story, to incorporate things, but it's a bit of a balance of like an understanding that some things just will not make it into the movie because they don't play a big enough part, but still creating the movie to like honor the original story, even if it doesn't incorporate all facets of it.
And that's what's I think is important as a viewer as well, is understanding that it's like they literally can't do everything.
Like, if you have a 500-page book,
yeah, there's not a chance. Yeah, so it's I hope that they figure it out, and then just do that. Like, they just stop blowing it. That's what I would prefer. Lydia, you stood up as though you had a comment. I saw you were like this, and then you did this. Did you have a thing to say, or no? Or were you just breathing?
I think I was just breathing.
Oof.
Speaking of, while we're on the topic of Lord of the Rings, I really hope that the Amazon Plus show, I hope it's good.
Honestly, I think it'll be fine. I don't think it'll be like something that people will write about forever, but I also don't think it'll be bad. I think at minimum, even if it doesn't like perfectly follow the Lord of the Rings and stuff, I think it'll at least hit the entertaining show value of it, which I think is fine. Whatever, you know? Like, at least it's a good show. I just can't stand when they don't follow the content and it's bad. Like, that's when like, if you're gonna make it just a movie with the title of it, at least make it a good movie.
Nice.
Speaking of adaptations, this doesn't matter to either of you, but I think it's Netflix is doing a One Piece live action show, like the anime. I don't know whether or not to be very excited or terrified. Because Oda, the guy who writes One Piece, like, shows the actors and is like assisting with everything. But at the same time, historically, live action adaptations of animes have been bad. They've just been bad.
Yeah.
I can't think of a good one.
Yeah.
Like, even when it isn't the show, like, they just shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
They just shouldn't. But, like, one of these days, they're bound to get it right eventually, right?
Eventually. Maybe they'll get it right with Avatar.
Maybe. Also, I noticed that Quincy had messaged. Did you see that they're doing that? Like, the Team Avatar is doing movies of Avatar: The Last Airbender? Well, I mean, not specifically, but like of the Avatar verse.
Yes, I did see that. There's like gonna be like 3 new movies, like a couple different new shows, a couple of comics, stuff like that.
I can't believe that they switched out the Kyoshi movie. I am infuriated. So they had this plan for a long time. Also, Cameron, yes, the Cowboy Bebop was terrible. But they originally, it was like Kyoshi. They followed like a story of Kyoshi, and then there was going to be a movie of like Zuko, and then another movie of like they had like specific characters. And the first one was supposed to be Kyoshi.
And now they're not doing it.
No, they switched it out for like young adult Team Avatar, which is still fine.
Yeah.
But I wanted Kyoshi.
Yeah. But I mean, I imagine they'll probably still do Kyoshi.
I mean,
eventually.
yeah.
Like everybody wants them to do Kyoshi. However,
Like,
granted, I am also excited for young adult Team Avatar personally.
I mean, yeah, I think it'll be great. But
yeah.
like, when the like scene where like Aang gets kicked against the rock and then he wakes up to the Avatar state and he reaches his hand out and grabs the beard. That the beard grab was a Kyoshi move. You know without a doubt that like wakes up out of the Avatar state and Kyoshi is like, "Oh no, son!" and just like grabs it. Like, yeah, that was a Kyoshi move. Yeah. So
someday.
I cry.
We'll have the things that we desire.
I was hoping for like an R-rated Avatar movie of just Kyoshi, like just
Kyoshi.
I think it would be great.
You might be the only one with that.
Oh man, could you just imagine it? Kyoshi just wiping people out. Killer. Literally. Hi, Lydia.
Hi.
Lydia, you haven't spoken a lot. Was there something you want to talk about?
This is your time.
Anything? This is your time. This is your moment.
Okay.
What have you been up to recently, Lydia?
Yes. I was with Lydia when she bought that. Lydia got a job recently.
I did get a job.
Woo! Work.
Woo.
Well done. Built-in? You like a built-in?
I got a SpongeBob. I got ramen.
And a ramen?
Yeah. Ramen Squishmallow.
I want a ramen.
I was the last one. Get wrecked.
Yeah.
I've just been living here.
You're just hanging out?
Yeah.
How has it been? You've been enjoying the show?
Yeah. True! You haven't heard this story. All right, get this. So many people have heard this story, but it's great.
I'm excited.
Okay, get this. So, I'm in the house one day, and here's the deal. Like, I pretty much just exclusively live in this room. I rarely go out. I only go out when Grant knocks at my door and is like, hey, let's go get Taco Bell. To which then I leave. Most of the time I'm stuck here though. One day I decided I'm not going to do that. So I text Grant and I'm like, I'm going to go for a walk. Do you want to join me? Well, I didn't tell him I was going for a walk. I said, are you awake? He said, I am. I'm playing video games. I don't want to socialize. I said, okay. So then I went for a walk.
Wait, hold on. Quick pause. I'm so sorry. I have to just process that for a second. Grant not wanting to socialize feels like an oxymoron.
No, Grant and I are very similar in the amount of like we can enjoy socializing or we just want nothing to do with it.
Like,
so
that's like me behavior right there. Where like I have to be in a very specific mood.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate that he tells me that because then I can be like neat because I don't want to bug him because I get that. I get not wanting to socialize. So he's like, I don't want to socialize. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go for a walk. So I start going for a walk. I joined voice chat because I didn't necessarily want to be alone. And I also knew I was going to get lost. I did get lost for about 5 minutes, but that's not important to the story. So I joined voice chat in the Discord, which you should totally join if you haven't already. I'm in the voice chat. I'm muted because the main sidewalk thing I'm on is on this busy road. It's not super busy, but cars pass regularly and it makes loud noises. So I'm muted. I'm walking along. I really want to chat. So I'm looking into these like neighborhood streets trying to find more sidewalk I can walk on. There's not a lot. I finally find one. I start walking on it. I'm like, heck yes. I found a sidewalk. It's in a neighborhood I can unmute. It stops 3 driveways in. just stops.
That's a trend.
Like not even at the driveway. It's like it goes 2 more squares and then just stops. I was like, I've found where the sidewalk ends. I look across the street. There's more sidewalk. I go to that sidewalk. I'm walking along this sidewalk. I look ahead of me. I see these 2 men talking. I'm like, okay, they're talking. A little further down, I see this little girl. I'm like, okay, there's a little girl. I continue walking. I'm chatting in voice chat, blah, 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 blah. I pass the 2 men. The little girl is coming into my view. I notice she's holding something. I'm like, what is she holding? As I approach closer, I'm like, she's cradling it like an animal. Is that a cat? Is that a dog? And then I see a tail, and I'm like, that's a pretty big tail for a cat or a dog. I get closer and closer and closer. You know what it freaking is?
A squirrel?
It's a bearded dragon named Nugget. I go over. My jaw drops. And this little girl smiles at me. She's holding Nugget, and she's like, this is Nugget. He's a bearded dragon. Do you want to pet him? And I'm there like, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to pet Nugget, the bearded dragon. Of course, I'm going to freaking pet Nugget, the bearded dragon. I pet him. My jaw is still on the floor. I proceed to walk away, and then I tell voice chat everything that just happened.
Wow.
And then I got lost.
And then you got lost.
I would like to state that this is an incredible. God, I wish that I could animate, because this is such a it was perfect.
Yes,
because it was
100%.
just you, and that makes it so animatable, of just you petting this little dragon named Nugget, and I weep because I'm not skilled enough yet to do anything.
It was bonkers.
Someday, mayhaps.
That was the most thrilling experience of my life.
Dude, that's...
And I just came back, and I, like, knock on Grant's door, and he, like, lets me in, and I'm like, I know you don't want to socialize, but I just pet a bearded dragon named Nugget. That's all, bye. And I, like, left.
What is nougat?
It's the, like, marshmallow fluff in, like, Milky Way. Is it in Milky Way? I think. The, like, in the, like, bar, like, candy bars.
Yeah, but is it marshmallow? Like, what is it? Like, what? How do you make nougat?
I'm pretty sure it's just, like, it's, like, marshmallowy, like, deal. I think. Unless I'm mistaken.
I don't know. It's a question that has plagued me for many years. Because, like...
that's what I always wonder about ranch.
You see, ranch I can kind of understand, because it's like a dairy product with, like, herbs. But, like, nougat. Who even came up with the name for nougat? I can understand who came up with the name for ranch, too.
Candy made from sugar, honey, nuts, and egg white.
It's a sugar paste.
Sugar paste.
I am learning so much today.
Yeah. Have you ever eaten fondant?
Yes. It's not good. It looks great. Tastes
edible
terrible. To be fair, Play-Doh is also edible. It's just not very safe.
I've never had fondant because I'm not a big cake guy to begin with. But I've heard it tastes horrible.
It is. It's like stale marshmallow. You can't prove that, Cameron. Well, some ranch might come from an actual ranch, but not all of it.
Fondant is stale marshmallow. More you know.
So,
I mean, is it actually like stale marshmallow, or is he saying it tastes like a stale marshmallow?
I mean, probably a little bit of both.
That's very fair. So, gang, just now that we've entered into the content of food and cake stuff, we only have like 5 minutes left, and by that I mean we could probably call it good for now. We've been going for like 2 hours. Do you, the viewers, have any questions for us? There were actually some questions early on.
I really want cake.
Let me see real quick here.
Can we get cake after this?
Yeah, we can go get cake. I
want to hang out with Drew for a little bit, but then we gotta get cake.
That's also fair.
Yeah.
That's doable.
You want to like just go get a cake?
I want to go get some cake.
I'm not able to scroll all the way up, which is sad. So first off, Quincy asks the question: is a Pop-Tart a ravioli?
A ravioli?
No.
Ravioli.
Quincy, why have you brought this?
I will say yes.
This was a war in Discord, I think.
I will absolutely agree that a Pop-Tart is a ravioli.
No, it's not a ravioli. Because it's got the icing on the outside, that makes it more complicated than a ravioli.
Isn't it just a ravioli with sauce on it?
But it's not sauce.
When it's first put on, it
and
is.
And sauce with the ravioli isn't just
icing.
on the top; it's around. Yeah.
That depends. What if it's baked ravioli? You put the ravioli in your body, put the sauce on top.
Now, if it's a Pop-Tart that doesn't have any of the icing on the top, then yes.
I will allow this. Now, as for the question, so I have an excellent answer for is a hot dog a sandwich?
It's not.
So
it's not.
This is my
one piece of bread.
I think that
if you break the bread, then yes.
I think that all foods are. It's like a tree. I think that like one food can be connected to another food, but not fully. So
yes, a hot dog is a taco.
So if we take a sandwich, sandwich is like one of the most basic forms of food that I could think of. A sandwich could be categorized as you have a piece of bread, something in on top of that bread, and then another piece of bread on top of it. Now, the problem with this is, what about a Subway sandwich? Right? So that's a type of sandwich that has a like bread that is still connected on one side and it folds open. You take a loaf, you cut it on the side, boom, sandwich, still a sandwich. Now, if you take that Subway sandwich and you turn it on its side, I should have done it like this. So now this opening opens up like this. It's still a sandwich.
Taco.
Now, here's the thing.
I hate these.
Connected to on that branch of sub, I think a subsect of sub is a hot dog.
I don't want to go into this.
And so I would say that 1/3 sandwich, so rounded down, no, it is not a sandwich, but it is a relative. Now, here's where it gets better. I would think that another form of sandwich, which, mind you, once you branch real far off, then you start to get into, like, pasta and stuff.
You know what this is the perfect opportunity for?
What?
For me to show my small spoons. Because I always try to show people, and they're like, these just look like normal spoons. They're not. They're small.
They are tiny spoons, yes. Also, Maz, just because Subway makes a sandwich doesn't mean that all Subway sandwiches have to be from Subway.
I'm gonna go get a normal spoon.
Like just a sub, like a bread, like a sub can be made anywhere.
Like
it doesn't have to be.
A sub sandwich.
Like a sub sandwich. Because connected to that, you also have, it's like baked, that type of sandwich. And I can't remember the name of that. But what about a calzone? A calzone is just 2 pieces of bread, but it's sealed all the way around and then baked. Now, if you think of that, what defines hoagies? Yes, Cameron, they're called hoagies. So hoagies is just a kind of sub sandwich. Now, a calzone differs from a ravioli because of the quality, like what the casing is, which is why I would say that a Pop-Tart is a form of ravioli. But it's just farther away down the tree of thought.
See,
and now
this is a normal spoon.
Now a calzone is just some kind of bread sealed with hot meat on the inside. That's what I think of as a calzone. By that definition, and let's assume that we're going by standard Christian rules. Here, this is important. This is a very important definition. People are just really big calzones. Because if Jesus' body was the bread, therefore, people are just big calzones.
That's not how that works.
Are people edible? Yes. Is their internal body temperature hot? Yes. Are people made of meat? Still yes.
But we're not surrounded by bread.
If God's body is the bread, his flesh the bread.
It's a metaphor, dude.
Isn't all food a metaphor? People are just big calzones.
I threw the spoon.
If we are created in God's image, then we are just big calzones. And this is an I'll be honest, I've thought deep about this question and it fits. All right.
Goodness, Aaron.
It fits. People are just calzones.
You are hurting me right now. I want you to know.
So I'm just saying, giant flying spaghetti monster, not that far out there. All right.
Oh my goodness.
So. Guys, it has been 2 hours.
You've broken me, Aaron. You've broken me.
Hours. We've gone real deep into so many different things. I have changed people's perspective on life. I don't think I should ask for any more questions.
Yeah, no more questions at this time. Elvis is leaving the building.
Yep.
No more.
So I have our obligatory ending plugs. First off, we have social media, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. We're getting back up to date on those. It'll be great. Who knows? This conversation could end up on there. I really hope it doesn't. We have a YouTube where you can watch our content after it's been on Twitch. It's really great. It'll be a little slow because our main editor and only editor, Grant, is on a trip. So it'll be a little late until everything's updated. We have a Discord, which you should be on, where you can have conversations like this with us all the time. Not all the time, because sometimes we sleep and sometimes we don't look at the thing, which is okay.
And sometimes we don't because we don't want to socialize.
Sometimes we don't want to do that, and that is okay.
I'm pretty omnipresent, so
unless your name is, I was going to say, unless your name is Lydia.
Lydia's there all the time. If you would like to, oh no. Oh shoot, we super did misspell Dungeon. We have if you want to support us, we have a Patreon. We also have a Streamlabs donation, Ko-Fi. We've got all sorts of things. We also have a P.O. box, and by we, I mean Grant has a P.O. box. Drew, you and DJ need to get a P.O. box, so that way they can send you stuff too, instead of just sending to us and then us having to mail it to you.
Like us set up a P.O. box?
Yeah, either that or like an Amazon wish list, public, something like that. We should all do that, honestly.
I do think
these
some
fools love sending us stuff.
Some sort of I would agree. Some sort of PO box for the Idaho peeps would be a good idea. But that costs money.
Yeah, that is fair. The easiest thing you can do to support us is tell your friends. Tell them, hey, would you like to hear about our Lord and Savior, People Are Calzones? And they'll be right on it. It'll be great.
No, no.
You can visit our website. The link doesn't work because we misspelled dungeon. It's www.thepaperdungeon.com. There's an E in front of that O.
You'd think we would have fixed it by now.
You would think that, but we're really not good at that. Speaking of stores, because we have one on the Paper Dungeon, you can buy stuff like this hat. Well, not this one specifically, but other ones like it. Lydia also has a store, lydiacorinne.com. It's great. You can buy her art. You can commission art from her. She has a wait list, and she needs to pay rent. So it's very important that she has that. Yeah.
To clarify, you can't buy Lydia's art, but you can commission Lydia to make art for you.
Yeah, and some of her art you can buy like on a pillow and a shirt. It's pretty sick. Other than that, I think I don't have any more plugs. I'm pretty sure. Is it
I think we're good.
Are we good?
I think we're good.
It has been an absolute blast. We have gone all sorts of places in this conversation today. Thank you, everyone, for coming on out. It is awesome to see everyone here. I should say, people that you should follow. Hey, obviously, you probably know Quincy. Quincy's awesome. You should follow Quincy. A good friend of mine, Mickey Joe CJR, also streams, and you should follow them because they're really good at video games, and they're cool. Lydia sometimes also streams, and so does Grant.
And so does Grant, yes. Philo Grant, Lydia Corinne.
Yes. That's the one.
Aaron will stream eventually, so you should
one day
preemptively, like in your head, follow him.
Yeah. Mark it down. Mental note. Put it in the brain palace.
I used to have a YouTube channel. You might be able to still find it.
If you search deep into the annals of YouTube, you can find it. But yeah, and thank you everyone for stopping out. The only thing that I have left to say, because I'm pretty sure I'm out of plugs and I have no reason to stall any longer, is good luck and Godspeed, everyone. We will see you next time, Dungeoneers.
Bye.
You have a good rest of your days or nights.
Bye.
Bye.